Oh, hello. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, there we go. Mic check. Test of the chat. Okay, hi there. Okay, log for 6th of April. So I've been sick for a week and haven't been putting much to work. Mainly, I think, because I got kind of stuck with the idea of how to make the asset more generic, and we're going, and it really just took me till yesterday to think of a concept where everything is dynamic enough without being too complicated for the user, so that the user can still do his thing very, very fast, because in the end that's what matters. Now, I'm way behind time. Where I say I want to be finished with the project, but I think a lot of things just came down on me, like being sick, and mainly I just had this barrier where right now, when we look at the project, you see there's 41 errors. That's not the problem, but it's easy to fix. Yeah, they're coming down all from the same kind of issue, and that's why, because I'm changing the code structure. Okay, let me see something. My desk is stuck somewhere. Let me. Can't figure out why. What the fuck? Okay. I was able to hear it hitting somewhere. I was trying to lower my desk right now. Something's not going on well. So I'm trying to fix that. Give me a second. Usual. Just don't see what it hits, and it's hitting something really, really badly. Yes. Okay, let's try again. Okay, that just worked. That's bad. Okay, so I couldn't figure out the issue. Something up with the guys. I got an idea, but can't prove anything. No, I can't. I don't have an idea why the desk is not working. Okay. So the current problem with the project is, let's exit the save mode. We don't need that. That's no bigger issue. Currently we have this. Let's see. We have the palette. So we were going to start planning today. Yeah, that's the first thing that we want to do. It's going to go into the word list. We still have make tool list for brushes and mappings. Yeah, and that's basically what we are going to work on. Um, and after that, I guess it. Oh yeah. After that, we're pretty much finished here. We can see the name of the asset is already surname ideas brush forger. Yeah, we can see that inside of the list we're pretty much at the release state, close, which is dangerous. I think if I rush the project, I can finish it really quick. But then it will be rushed. Yeah. So I think if I just keep going every day a little bit further, I should safely be able to make it to ship the asset in a good state. Yeah. Okay. Because we still have this task, and testing all the functions in the end is going to reveal something that I don't like, and it's going to take forever. So just like we are actually 3 times with the state where I've thought, okay, this is going to be the goal where we can release. And then I saw a problem and changed everything again. Huge changes. Yeah. That's why it's in overtime. Okay, so currently it's like this. We have this window. You can't show it. We have this window where we have the brush. Here's the brush list. You select your brush, and you have your static tools. Yeah. Tuck. These are flipping in X, Y, rotating, and this is paint and erase. Yeah, and I thought that these are static. Yeah, that you would need a paint function for every brush. This has been an oversight. Yeah, this has been an oversight because it's not true. This is because I was looking at Unity's grid palette, and that is the inspiration for the initial structure of the code of the asset, yeah, where the buttons in here, they are static. Yeah. What we need though is these have to be defined in the brush class, because we have different buttons that are going to do different things, and we never have the same buttons for everything. Paint. I thought paint has to be defined in the brush. Doesn't, because then I was thinking about sculpt brush. A sculpt brush is a brush that if you have a flat line, for example, and you go select something here, and it will then lower or increase the height, make a hill. It's for sculpting, yeah. So a sculpt brush, yeah, then you have this. This is not exactly a paint function. Yeah, that's where I saw the issue. And then you have, of course, prefab brush, and this one, this can point to a point and spawn an object. This is painting. And then you have the terrain brush. So these are just the most common brushes that I used in game development. There's more, but these are most common ones. Then there's a terrain brush. And a terrain brush goes in here, and terrain texture, yeah, terrain texture, sculpt Sculpt terrain brush. I'll explain why I make this differentiation. Different. Let me try to pronounce that. Differentiation. Actually.
Differentiation.
Differentiation, yeah. The differentiation between those two, I will explain it. Yeah. So Terrain brush does this. All of this is one texture, then you do this, and then this is another texture, yeah? I think that, yeah, okay, that doesn't it's not easy to understand. The drawing only is understandable with me talking about it. Also, but I mean, maybe go in like I don't want to make too much fuss about it. Can I go into it's no. Yeah, I just don't want to go into detail now. Yeah, do you have this terrain brush? With the prefab brush, terrain brush, and sculpt brush. I think these are the three most common brushes. Let me look it up again. Unity Asset Store, just to be sure that I didn't forget any common brush. Oh yeah, then there's a tile brush. A tile brush. A tile. Okay, let's go into black again. Tile brush. And a tile brush goes in here and does this. It paints tiles. Yeah. If you're tiles. Okay, it's. Like imagine this, and then you have grass here, and underneath that, and underneath that is earth. Yeah, you draw in tiles. Yeah. So I think these are four kind of brushes that do different things. And if I say this is a generic brush forger, I cannot say okay. We only have the prefab brush because this is what we work with. This is the example. But these are four different things of what you spawn in, and they all basically work different. Now I thought I need a paint function in every brush, yeah. But then I came up across the problem that a sculpt brush doesn't have a paint function. Yeah, you can have, or to a terrain brush, you can make a hill, a plateau. You can sculpt anything, and this kind of doesn't fit the definition of a sculpt brush. Yeah, it just doesn't fit. And this is why I have been like, okay, man, I need to think of something else for the buttons. Because erase, for example, it makes sense for every. Oh, it only makes sense for prefab brush and tile brush. These need an erase button. Paint makes sense for 3 or 4. Yeah, 2 or 4 with erase. Everything the sculpt brush does, next to everything, is not needed in the other brushes. So that's. So I've been thinking like, okay, let's make it like this. have a main brush type, have a prefab, prefab, brush. And with the main brush type, I actually don't know what to do with this. It basically is just, this is a brush. It needs to have main brush type defines tools used. And we need to have all the brushes have in common now is they use tool buttons, but it's absolutely up to them what to do with buttons. Yeah, and then so this is what I've been like getting my head around, and I was like, I'm rushing the project, and I was like, I couldn't figure this out for some reason, because I kind of was hard stuck at okay, how do I make the paint function work for every brush, and at some point I just realized, okay, I can't have the paint function in every brush. I need to have a function make the function handle the mouse click in every brush. This is where brush defines what to do depending on the selected. Yeah, so that's something. Yeah. So instead of right now I have cases inside of the scene view function. When you go over the scene here and do something, and there are some cases that are checked on what tool is currently in use. What I need to do is I need to get rid of that and define that in the brush instead. Yeah, so there's the big code change. And let's make a new. Save this up. Make a new. This time I want to start with the card thing. Why does it make... Okay. So kind of UML. Sorry, UML. Looks like this. This is brush. Brush. No, it's just the brush. Yeah, I don't think this is the real name. This is custom brush or something. Doesn't matter. Then we have brush types. Like the ones we defined. I forgot to look them up. Always do the research. Noise brush, ramp brush, prefab brush, terrain brush, hill, VR brush. Okay, that's a brush that I didn't see coming. I think this one is at one time though. Yeah, this one is at one time. And in this one looks like it's just brushing with the line renderer. Yeah, this is the line render. And it's nothing special. Sorry. Terrain brush. This is a texture brush. Terrain. And every brush is kind of different. Yeah, there's different lists. Like if you look into this, just look at the thumbnail. You see, okay, there's different kind of brush settings for the brush. This doesn't make sense for the prefab brush. This has to be defined in the brush itself. Yeah. And I don't know what the hell this is. Looks like an animation. So I think with the research I made a mistake, of course, that I didn't do enough research because I didn't download any of these. Which would have been nice to have, but I won't be able to make the toilet brush. Yeah, that's what I want to support. Unfortunately, this one looks like the best brush. Metal brush. Let's just go through the first page, and I'm just rushing through here, trying to rain brush, trying to find a brush that I didn't think of. 2D 3D paint. Mesh brush. I think the VR brush is an exception. That's a one-time brush. We are going to for editor brushes. Okay. With main brushes. Interesting though, there was no tile brush, because I think everybody uses the tile brush from Unity, and there's not much use in making your own tile brush system. So yeah, okay, can understand that. And making a 2D tile brush would be a little bit redundant, because I think Unity did a great job with its tile brush. When you don't try to customize it, that is. This looks like a interesting brush. Yeah, it's that what is interesting, but code-based drawing. I'm also sorry that I'm a little bit sick still. Thinking with the tea. Okay, now we have this concept here. Let's just move on. Doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, these things inherit from the brush. I haven't decided what if this is going to be an interface? Is it going to be... No, I think this needs to extend scriptable object. So this can't be an interface. Scriptable. Yep. Okay, scriptable object. So this can't be... It can only be... This has to be abstract. Yeah, this is abstract. Yeah. And making this an interface would mean that I couldn't make sure that the brush implements scriptable. I would have to look into that. Okay. No. Okay. I don't know if that's possible. Yeah, it's just... Can you force an interface that with an interface that everything inherits from something? I don't think so. So we go in here, and this is going to be prefab brush, and then so we go see that there's a lot of just destroying your own project with the prefab brush. With trying to think of new cases. I think this is a way to do it. I know usually when I do this, I save up work later. Yeah. Where I think right now be easier to just try to release the project, but I'm going to run into problems later then. I just keep going with problems that I see. Let's rename this into Brush Forger Brush. Forger Brush. It's because it's shorter. It's going to be a little bit cleaner. Oh, yeah, it renamed itself. Okay. So this is going to define the most used methods. Prefab brush, terrain brush, scalp brush, and tile brush. Yeah. So there's a lot of cases here where we see, okay, then they all have their quirks, and we have to find what do they have in common. And what they do not have in common is a paint function. Yeah, they don't have a paint function. Do they all have a brush size? Yes. Oh, for the tile brush? Yeah, then it has. Show brush shape. Ah, okay. This is for the scene view. Handle preview, and we need a we'll have to look into how to define those. Then we need to have a public abstract void. Okay, and this is going to be similar to paint. I'm just going to rename paint then. Handle. How did I name it? What did I name it? Handle scene mouse drag. What do I name it? So the paint function, huh? Handle. Thanks. Handle. Mouse drag? I don't know. On scene mouse drag. On scene interaction. And it's either clicking, button up, button down. You can rename that. That's not a problem. Just need to have the definition right. Just evoke data. So currently there's also this where we have these interactions in the tools. And this is the main problem. Where these interactions need to be defined inside the brush. However, these are static. We can have multiple brushes. I don't know if we can actually call this from a brush, but we will just try. Yeah, we will just try. So these are going, all these, they are going into the brush. Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of things just for the tools. It would make sense to give the preferred brush a tool subclass. Make a partial class for words. We're going to do this later. Going to write that down. I just want to have everything working first before we make that change. You can argue one way or another. But I already have the function for the tool, so I just want just want to get rid of the errors so that I can preview what I have actually. So let's get on with the first refactoring before we do another. Yeah. So we want to have all these. Let's make a region. 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 Tool functions and region. And then can go in and have all this stuff inside of here. Yeah. So I still need some improvement with the tools. Like I can't have this enum active tool. This just doesn't work anymore. It's going, and you see that now everything is messed up. Yeah. Active tool. Active tool. Going to rename this Washforger tool. The refactoring right now is insane. Ah. Yeah. Washforger active tool. We will have two kind of tools. One for just instant functions like rotating 90 degrees. You click that, it rotates 90 degrees. That's it. And then there's active tools for painting. Click that, and it's active all the time. Yeah. Normally you should only be able to have one active at a time. I don't know why we would have two active in the time right now. I know you can have that in Adobe. And then no wonder that I had that basically burnout when I was like, okay, it's getting complicated. I mean, just how much work this is just insane. It's just insane. I guess. So if this active tool, actually we want to name it to just Washforger active. And I see more and more like I'm kind of having a breakdown. If you implement an interface, can you reference that? Where's this? Oh, this button. So can I have it? Public interface. Yeah. I actually have no idea what I want to do with the interface. Can we set it to null? Yeah, we can set it to null. That's good. We can refresh the preview. That's also nice. So things clean up. And then we have to this function, what if it's null else? Yes, okay. That if value is null else. Okay. Only had two cases. That's why we don't need to define that much. What does this do? None selected. Okay, just for the tour. This is going to be insane. Ah, okay. Yeah. I see why I get a headache. Just think about how complicated this is going to be. Okay, let's just try to make it go for today. I just want for today. I also don't want to make much of a fuss today. For today, I just want the errors to be gone so I can see the palette again. Yeah? Just want to clean up. Yeah. I would need to really get my shit together and finish this. But the thing is, I can't just do one big thing here, one big change. I need to space that out into small changes, and tomorrow will be figuring out more details how to get the buttons in there again. Actually, I have all the functions there. It's just this trying to get my head around it. It's just a little bit big. Yeah, I mean, I just look at how many classes I have, and I'm like, I currently have how many errors? Couple of 100? Can't even see it right now. Protected. Prepaid brush is not an abstract. "112 errors to fix. We haven't even gotten to implement the important stuff. Okay. Then in the palette we will have two sets of buttons, two lists. Kind of eh. Active tool buttons. Maybe we have to add the buttons in here. We also want to have a second type. Okay. Active tool and what's the button that you could just click tool? Other. Click tool. Clicky tool. Like rotating or flipping. Do they have in common? Just change something. Brush tool. Change the settings. Change the transform. Use tool. It's tool. It's one-time use. Synonym for something shorter. Action. Action tool. Action tool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And we have our action tools. And they actually don't need to be handled in the active tools. Do they? Maybe we need a function. Yeah, never mind. We need to have a function that says on click on the tool, go into the brush and execute the function. Okay. Mental breakdown time. You know what? I think like I say mental breakdown. I feel like I feel like that's what a weak guy. That I have a mental breakdown. Kind of a weakness. So need to put this somehow else. I just imagine like I give up now just because it's hard. Exactly how I don't want to be. Okay. But my mind is already set up on finishing this, so shouldn't worry about that too much. That's it. Yeah. Just have to be better in handling my insecurities. I mean, insecurities, it's just like being afraid of heights. It's there for a reason, yeah? And I often feel like, hey, why are we afraid to admit to be afraid? Sometimes it's actually a good thing. When we are afraid of heights, we pay more attention to our surroundings and try not to die. So how is that a bad thing? How do people... I've been educated in a way where it's a bad thing to be afraid. Yeah. I should actually think I should more focus on facing your fear. Facing your fear is much better. I guess this throw an error. Paused. Okay, so something's going on. Currently my compilation is paused. Weird. Why is it paused? Go on. Hello. Compilation? Compiler? Compiling? The compiler to work. It will be... I can of course just click the errors in here. There's no argument given that corresponds to the icon path. String. Maybe open writer. I don't know what's going on. Okay, just crashed for some reason. So if this interface, the interface doesn't do anything, that's also flaw. Okay. I'll mute myself and just work on this because currently just what I'm working on is going to make a lot of changes to implement the new abstract inheritance structure and defining the tools inside of the brush class. It's just going to be a lot of code changes. And talking about them is kind of redundant. I just need to fix all the new errors that I have through that. Yeah. Feel free to chat if you want to say something, because I feel like there's not much to say about this that actually has a great value. Okay, I'm getting one of my cats inside. He's outside right now. BRB. Okay, back again. I'm still confused here on what to do with the paint tool class, because currently this class only does two things. It has an icon path and a tooltip, and then it sets these properties. And I actually have to get my head around why I need this class. I mean, I could just give this some kind of string and say, okay, this is paint. If that, I wouldn't even need that. Could even get around without that, by just defining the preferred brush with a private tool brush forger active tool paint tool erase tool. Yeah, and then I just add these. But let's just not define the rotate buttons anymore because of time constraint. We're just going to have I want to narrow down the functions. The problem with the rotation is that I have to change it depending on the perspective of the brush, and that's kind of meh. Maybe another day. But I need that. Damn, I need that. Yeah, I need that. Rotate left. I need that for my own work. If it's rotate right, tool. So currently I'm going here into if this active tool is of this kind. I'm here. But since there shouldn't be anything, the thing is, what do I want this tool to do? I actually don't want anything. This is handled. The thing that the tool does is defined inside of the brush, not in the tool. Doesn't sound right. Hard questions. Tool. What do I want from a tool to do? The thing is, I can imagine writing into the tool that Here's something like going if you click here, then you call this function handle click, and then all that this would do is go to the brush and call paint. Yeah. And I can't and I can't get my head around this to see a case where I actually need this. Yeah, I can get rid of this and just say, okay, when we're going to have this method inside of the brush itself, which is going to handle the click. I don't see the method right now. On scene interaction, yeah. This is where this is actually paint. This is actually where paint. Okay, this is actually where we handle what the brush does when you click in the scene. And then I think we should have a switch case in here. Switch active tool. Switch to brush for brush larger tools. Dot active tool. And then we have the cases. Case null, case null. I think we can get type. Get type. Yeah. Oh no, if it's null, we can't get the type. Damn. Yeah. It sucks. That that is bad. Active tool, it can be null, so I can't get have a switch with get type. Except if I do an if in front of this, but that's not the best case. I just want to have one switch, not an if and then it switch. That's kind of a bad mixture. It would be weird. Yeah, let's say it like that. I mean, I like that. I'm not sure. But for now, it's okay. And if this is equal to the paint tool, yeah, then we want to do something, but we can make the comparison like this. Break. Just like I break right now. And we want to paint. Yeah. I need for erase position. Okay. Vector 3 position. Get into the base class, please. Okay. I don't know if to just see how I compare this. If this tool is the paint tool, how do I compare these? I cannot just get type. I guess that's not the same. I want to plug the paint tool inside of here, and it should be the same. So I'm not sure. Constant volume. Okay. Let me go through the toilet real quick. You know what? Fuck this. Okay. I just want to change something. I think with the tool, what I'm trying to do here with having tool types just doesn't make sense. Yeah, like I don't need the tool types. Because since the brush defines what the tool does, I think I'm getting overly complicated over here. Just don't need the active tool class. Basically just a button. So I can get rid of these. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. I can go back again. No, I haven't pushed to Git, but whatever. Pretty sure that I don't need these. And I want to have another thing here. For now, it's just going to be a string. Tool type. Yeah. So we have these buttons, and you know what? I'm just going to write it into a string for now. Let's talk about, hey, we can make this an enum. But no, tool type. I mean, we could find something like tool type. Could define something like that. I don't know. I just it would be a little bit cleaner in the code. Yeah. Okay. Just a little bit. So then you set the tool type in the constructor, and everything else, the button itself is already defined by Unity. We don't want to do anything about that. Yeah, I'm making things way too complicated. So that's why I'm like, hey, let's just narrow things down. We are already in a very, very complex project. And so I need to at least try to always take the easiest path that the easiest path that is clean code, yeah. Which yeah. So I want this to be an enum. I wanted the user to define his own type. Yeah, I just want to be able to define their own kind of type button. And then later in the code I just want to type, I don't want to have the comparisons later to have button dot tool type dot equals and then the string. Yeah. I don't want to avoid this. With an enum you can write and then it will say paint, yeah? Paint. But the tool type does not exist. Yeah. Before we define it, it's like kind of what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So I'm preferring just a string. Okay, my cat wants snacks. And I want a tool type. How do you define enums? If I have an enum, like, imagine like this. Enum tool type, yeah. And then you define paint erase. Yeah. And then instead of string, you have this tool type in here, tool type. Public. Now the user comes up with his own tool, which is sculpting. Yeah. But I don't want him to go into this enum. I don't know. They come up with their own idea. I don't want them to go into the enum and change anything. That's kind of wrong. Because then you import something, update the asset, and the update is going to make to do this. Yeah. So this would be bad. That's why the string would actually be better at the moment. Yeah. Like right now I can write something like that. Tool type. I can do this in the code. That's quite cool, but it doesn't fit the purpose. Let's see. Can I like C# add element to enum in other class? Is that okay? Let's just try something else. I'm just too lazy to read right now. Tool type. Let's try to define. Go in here and say this is going to be a push for the tool button. Tool button. And then we have a thing that we need inside of the tool button. A lot of things going on. So we can now go in here and say, hey, with switch case we can go and have these two. Can we override the tool type? I don't think so. We'll try anyway. Public enum tool type. Can we override that? I don't think that this works, but let's just go for Skype. Skype, do some. Okay, and now we can't go in and say tool type. Okay, that of course didn't work. So I thought I did read something like this in here. I think we can define enums just in this class, but then we can only use them in the class, but it will be but we won't be able to store them into the tool type because then yeah, then it won't compile. So I'm currently okay. Saying okay, this doesn't work. And this doesn't work. Yeah. Can't have it with an enum. We can have it with a string. It's going to take some time. I mean, I'm streaming for 2 hours and can't even compile anymore. Feels like I don't think I can get this done today. Feels like I'm jumping into the open water without any just jumping up into the cold water or something. This is how it feels like. I have no idea where this takes me. Can make this comparison. Okay, so I probably would need the type. But how do I do the same in a switch case? I'm a little bit dead. It's a little bit dumb. I don't think that I. So if this is a paint tool, can't make the comparison. How do I do that then? Check it. Let's ask the AI. I don't. I make this comparison. So it has the same ideas that I have, like make it a class, make it where I'm like, yeah, that was my first idea, make it a class, and then I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make sense because the class wouldn't do anything. There's no function to write into the class, so I'm like, it just needs to read the type, and then the brush does everything by itself, and the tool just is a switch case on what to do. So I don't need a type, a class. Yeah. Even though that was the first thing that I thought it should do, but that was like, and then it was just call the paint function inside the brush. So I'm like, yeah, that's not working. And then you could also define that multiple things are active at once. So yeah. I don't have any functions that need to be defined in a tool class, but I also need the enum to be extended in the right classes of the brush. I don't think it will get it what I want. Let's just try. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. No, 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 no. That breaks multiple things. Because then... now you might say, okay, just have every brush define a paint function, and if the paint tool is active, call the paint function. But I can't have this because the sculpt brush does not need to have a paint function. So no. You know what? I'm just going with a string now. Yeah, it's, I think that's the cleanest solution. I get it. But having to define classes just for a name to have a type is kind of an overkill. Yeah. I mean, I told you that I don't have anything to be. I mean, I was like, yeah, I can do this. It would increase the complexity a little bit too much. Like you have to jump to the tool, look what the tool does, and it and the erase logic is actually not in the tool. Yeah. Except if I write down everything in here that is under the paint function and everything else, and put it into the tool, and then say this is a prefab tool. Okay, I need to think about that. Makes it a little bit easier to understand what you do when you paint. If I write everything that is inside of the brush to the tool, and then the brush is basically just the settings for the tool. But there's one quirk that I don't like about this. You have a preview, and this would split the methods from the preview into into the brush class and the tool class. And I actually don't want the tool to define what you do, because then you have something custom that only this brush should do, and then you need to define your own tool to it. Kind of counterintuitive. Well, it's possible. It would be possible. Will also make it possible to have your own class. Just swap out the tool. If you want to have something custom for the paint tool. So I think it comes down to the following problem. I go in here and have this execute function. The original idea is the problem is that I need to then in the paint tool I can reference the brush forger brush. Can reference the brush forger brush, but I would need to reference a prefab brush and then go into the properties inside of here. Because only a prefab brush is going to have objects that you can draw here. I need to have access to this field. So we would need to write something like, hey, if this brush is not a prefab brush, I need to make a warning like, hey bro, I've no idea, this is intended to be for the prefab brush, for the prefab paint tool. Yeah. Also need to access the preview. Hold on. Let's go to the pros and cons. Yeah, if I make this tool, the tool type, give it its string just for the type. The big pro is it will just work out of the box, because then I can just go in here and case and type in the name as a string. The con is I'm losing the ability to define the functions in the tool, and this is a big decision. All these things. The active tool things, they need to be static. Oh, that actually works. I like having everything in one class here. I'm going over the class is huge, like the 500 line class. So splitting that apart is absolutely there's no reason to say, hey, I want to have everything in one class. Tool functions that go erase, create brush object. There's a lot of I'm just trying to get down which functions would go over to the tool and make the tool a class that actually does something. Because if the tool just calls the paint function in the brush, then I can just make the tool type a string. Will be except that it's a string, everything would be fine. Actually, it would make sense to have the paint logic in the paint tool. Yeah? Actually, it would make sense. You just have to cast them to the correct class and call it prefab paint tool. The prefab paint tool needs a prefab brush. Yeah. There's one thing that I need to check first in my head, and that is the preview. The brush handles the preview. Currently. Having the tool handling the preview, that's kind of interesting. So an active tool would have an execute and a preview function. Now you wouldn't want to preview everything. When I draw in something, I actually want to have a preview. But if I erase, I don't need a preview. I just click on what I want to erase, and I don't want to have a preview then. Yeah. And then it would also need a refresh preview function. Where the tool handles what to do. What I currently don't like is if the active tool is none, is null. I need to write a lot of cases because of that. Should I just go with it? That's going to be a nuisance. I mean, not right now. It would be like this. Every thing in here would then define its own tools. And then you have the tools for the prefab brush, erase and paint, and other things. I think I need to do this because I need to do something. It's really hard to figure out what to. There's another thing that I just can't figure out right now, which is the hotkeys. I have no idea how I handle that. Yeah. I would just want to make this work real fast. I would go for Swing. I would do this for my own project. Then I could probably hard code it to this string with the button name. I don't like that if I inherit from the tool button and then I'm a visual element and also has functions. I mean, that works. Yeah. Maybe I'm doing one problem here, and that's trying to get the tool button down. And inherit that button. Hmm. That is too loud. Oh, sorry. Okay, the whiskey. Nope. Nope. I don't have the time to just try things out. I need to make a good strategy from the start, I'd say. Uh, So first thing is I want this to still have just a constructor for, I don't know even the reason. Can just have this being a method. Actually, it would be better to just keep it like it is and say, okay, every tool has a button. And since the button is just the visual representation, that's about it. What I need this button to do. And the button could have the palette tool. Maybe I need to write something down. Okay. Rose. Brush has paint erase function. Only write down what this means. Define what to do inside brush. Has it benefits. It really keeps it smooth. Like this brush paints in this way. And this is how this brush paints. And then tool has function. Tool can be swapped out easily without defining in class. And I think that's basically the better code participation. No, parts, partials, parts. I don't know. Partition. Yeah, partition. Partitions. And I think that's a no-brainer. Okay, so that decides what to do. Meaning I'm going to make the brush border palette tool class, and it's going to execute and preview and refresh preview as a function.
Cheap viewers on Streambook.com remove the space F9V static.
Okay, there's something that really annoys me, except for sheep viewers, etc. And that is that um, uh, and that is that we have a lot of references to the brush, which is going to make the code a little bit annoying. Because then I need to go to the current selected brush. I don't think I can have it, especially here. Okay, that's okay. I think in creating the game object, that's here. This is where I need to make references. Okay, okay. Now, for now, it's okay. I can handle that. Change brush size. So I currently change a lot of things here. It's current. Sure. Uh-oh. Custom import, that's not good. I'm kind of getting lost in the classes again. Okay. Yeah, so. We need to get rid of these if clauses, but I need to do the same thing inside of tools. So it's going to take a little bit. It's not too easy. And let's go for the erase tool and actually just implement all the missing members. Yeah, let's not throw anything. For the preview, we're not going to do anything with the erase function in the erase function. And let's see if we can copy over the erase. 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 And one thing that I still haven't figured out is how to select the tool with the hotkey. If and that's going to be a little bit fuzzy because I need to then check if the tool is in the list, and if it's in the list, then select it. Okay, actually, that's pretty straightforward. This needs to go into a tool. So many changes. So the initial goal will not be met today. The initial goal was to get rid of all the errors, but I don't see that I can get rid of all the errors today. So let's at least make the palette tools. Let's try to get the errors out of the palette tools. Yeah. So that's going to be the new goal. And everything else, just trying to get the things over where they should be, but let's not try to do too many things at once. Just trying to get the things where they should be. Yeah, and then next time I will be trying to figure out all the last bugs where I need to make some references, but currently I just try to fix the general structure. With fixing, I mean like restructuring. So there's a decision here where we need to make the decision to pretty much write how the tool handles what to do if you drag and click into the scene. Yeah. And currently, if there is a tool selected, tools will just decide to not let the user anything select. And I need to think about, do I want this? Actually, yeah, I actually think in all cases, prefab brush, scalp brush, tile brush, you never want to select what is in the scene. So I can actually get rid of this control ID inside of the other things. I don't think it's a good solution though. And then, you know, I don't want to write it every time in the scene interaction. I want to just focus on what to do in here instead. Of having to handle what to see as a click and what not. Kind of annoying. Well, a little bit. I think it would be made more dynamically to define it inside of this scene interaction thing. But I'm kind of I don't want to. Need to define to decide on that later. I've fixed all the errors in the palette tools. Currently, there won't be anything showing up here. We go into the palette here. We will have some work to do next time. Yeah, we're going to end the stream right now. There's going to be some work in here. Yeah, because the buttons, they're not going to be added in when I construct the toolbar. And so there's a toolbar, and inside of here there are buttons. Button 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Actually, this is 6. But I add them when you select the brush. If you select the brush, the tools are going to be added. So they're not going to be added statically. They're going to be added just when you select the brush. And that's going to change. Things. It's going to change things. Yeah, let's put it like that. tool button click. Yeah, the code doesn't make sense anymore here. But I don't want to delete it yet because I need these paths, icon paths, just to have preview for now. Yeah, I will eventually get rid of the icon paths and do my own icons. It's going to take time. Yeah, but that's just the way it is. Okay, that's it for today. Yeah, has been quite something. I think the decision to make the tools did not come off easy because I just knew that there's a lot of work that now needs to be done. Which is always something like, where I'm like, is this a feature creep? No, I actually just want to have the features that are in there, that I define, and I need this to restructure the tools, so that they fit the needs of the project, not vice versa. But it comes with a lot of restructuring and thought process. Yeah, there's going to be some bugs and bug fixing. A lot of time is going to be put inside. I mean, I've done a stream for 3.5 hours for today. Just not a lot of working time. It's not enough. But I'll keep going, and hopefully I will get to a point where I can see the light at the end of the tunnel again. Because I thought I was there, where I saw it was okay. Thinking, okay, and if I look at my list, I only have testing functions and a little bit renaming, easy things on there. And then I was like, yeah, it was this tool thing. There's something that I saw there that just wouldn't fit. I had this oversight where I thought where tools cannot be static. Yeah, this is an oversight and a fault by me, and that's why I need to fix it right now. And that's just going to be some time, and there's also going to be some kind of bugs because I need to figure out how to handle the preview with tools instead of a brush. Which is absolutely doable. And it's just going to take some time. I'm pretty sure that I will have a new bug because of because I'm currently doing huge restructuring. What I'm missing is the big moment where I'm finished with restructuring and testing things out. Normally, every time I do refactoring, restructuring to improve something, once I get to a certain point, everything is so much smoother and nicer, and I didn't have this so far. But and it's maybe the small little reward that I'm missing, and that I knew that would not come in easy. But the code readability will improve upon the change that the tool actually says how to draw in objects that are drawn with the tool, and you can just change it in the tool then how the object is drawn instead of the brush. And the brush is just it's a little bit counterintuitive because the brush doesn't do anything. Because you think, okay, the brush is a tool. No, the brush has a tool, and that tool is going to define what to do, which is weird. Yeah, but It's okay. Kids are calling me to feed them. I normally do a little game with them, and I don't have anything special to say. That's why I'm just in the middle of work. See you next time. Bye.
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying.